Hey everyone, I'm your host, Ryan. Welcome back to Speak Up, the podcast that helps you improve English without feeling lost. Whether you're learning from home, commuting to work, or just relaxing after a long day, we're here to make your English journey easier, more fun, and actually effective. Today's episode is for those of you who've asked yourself, how do I speak English fluently when I don't live in an English-speaking country? Don't worry, you're not alone. And no, you don't need to move to the US or the UK to master this language. What if I told you that you could build an entire English-speaking world inside your own mind, without ever leaving your room?
Hi listeners, I'm Priya, and I'm so excited to dig into this topic with you. Because here's the truth. The key to fluency isn't just about what you study, it's about how your brain experiences English every day. And the best part? You're in full control. You can speak English at home, you can practice English thinking, and you can do it without a single native speaker around. In this episode, we're going to guide you step by step, from switching your inner voice to English to creating a daily environment that naturally boosts your fluency. And stay with us, because later in the episode, we're going to reveal one trick that most learners completely miss, even after years of practice.
Yes, and just to give you a preview, this isn't about buying expensive courses or memorizing thousands of words. It's about changing the way you experience the language inside your head. We'll walk you through everything. How to switch your thoughts to English, how to practice conversations alone, and how to create a system that makes English your default mode. It's like building an English bubble around you, even if you're surrounded by people speaking your native language. And trust me, when you do this, your speaking confidence improves fast. That's why this method works so well for people with no access to English-speaking communities.
Exactly. And we're going to make it simple, realistic, and practical. No more confusion, no more feeling like English is something far away. You'll be doing daily English practice without even realizing it. So stay tuned, because in just a few minutes, we'll show you how to change the voice in your head to English, and how that one small change can unlock fluency faster than any textbook ever could. Ready to take control of your English environment? Let's begin.
Let's start with something we all experience. Imagine this. You're trying to speak English, you know the words, but somehow your mind keeps going back to your native language first. You hear someone say, "How's your day going?" And before you can answer, your brain quickly translates it, maybe into Urdu, Hindi, or Bengali, and then you try to respond. That delay, that's the gap we need to fix. See, your brain has a default setting, the language it naturally uses to think, react, and observe the world. And for most of us, English isn't that default, especially if we don't live in an English-speaking environment. But what if we could change that setting? Not physically, but mentally. What if English could become the first language your brain reaches for, even when you're alone?
That's what we call an English mind environment. It doesn't mean changing your location or only watching English movies. It means changing how your brain functions on the inside, how it talks to itself. Think about it. Most of your day, you're thinking, you're reacting to things, you're making plans. What if all of that could slowly start happening in English? Not perfectly, not all at once, but step by step. It's like rewiring your inner voice. And here's the secret. You don't need to be around English speakers to do it. Your brain responds to what it hears and uses regularly. So if you start surrounding your mind with English thoughts, not just study sessions or textbook lessons, but natural, personal thoughts, your inner language begins to change automatically. That's what we're aiming for.
Here's how I like to think about it. Your brain works like a habit machine. If it sees the same word over and over, it stores it. If it hears the same type of sentence structure daily, it begins to expect it. So when you start training your mind to label things in English, this is a cup. I need my keys. I feel tired. Those patterns begin to take root. The first time it might feel forced. The second time, awkward. But by the 10th or 20th time, it becomes smooth. That's when you know your mind is shifting. You're not translating anymore, you're thinking in English. You see something and the English word just comes up without effort. That's a powerful sign of growth. And the best part? You don't need extra time in your day. You just need to use your existing thoughts and flip the language switch.
Yes, and you don't need to be a grammar expert to begin this. Many people think, I'll start thinking in English once I'm fluent. But actually, it's the other way around. The more you think in English, the faster you become fluent. Because fluency isn't just about speaking well, it's about training your brain to use English without hesitation. And that starts in your mind long before your mouth even opens. Try this. The next time you're walking or cooking or just sitting quietly, describe what you're doing in English. Even simple phrases like, I'm cutting vegetables or I'm late again can create powerful repetition. And remember, your brain doesn't care if you're saying it out loud or just thinking it. As long as the input is English, your brain is adapting. And once you start doing this consistently, you'll notice that English starts to show up even when you're not trying.
That's such an important point. This whole process isn't about perfection, it's about presence. Is English present in your thoughts? Is it active in your mind when no one's watching? Because that's when real change happens. Think of it this way. If your phone is set to English, your apps are in English, your music and podcasts are in English, and now even your thoughts start happening in English, how can fluency not happen? Your mind simply adapts to what you give it. You don't need to pressure yourself, just start where you are. Even if it's broken English, even if you forget a word, keep the process going. Eventually, the sentence will come more naturally and the hesitation will disappear. It's not magic, it's repetition.
Exactly. And when you repeat something often enough, it becomes your new normal. This is how we learn anything. Walking, riding a bike, even texting. At first, it's slow. Then one day, you realize you're not thinking about it anymore. You're just doing it. The same applies to English. But this time, we're focusing on the inside, not the outside. Your mind is your training ground. So instead of waiting for English to happen around you, you build it inside you. One phrase at a time, one thought at a time. No pressure, no big goals, just consistent English awareness. And eventually, your mind will stop reaching for your native language. It will default to English. And that's where real fluency starts.
Now here's where it gets interesting. When your thoughts start to form in English, your spoken English changes too. You don't have to pause and think about every word. You just speak, because the sentence is already formed inside your head. That's the real benefit of creating this mental environment. It shortens the gap between thought and speech. No more inner translation, no more second guessing, just fast, natural conversation, even if it's simple. And over time, those simple thoughts turn into complete sentences. You start feeling more confident. You stop doubting yourself.
But let's face it, our real world is still filled with our native language. Our families, our workplaces, our neighborhoods, they all speak something else. So how do we actually build and protect this English environment inside our minds when everything outside is pulling us in the opposite direction?
Now we've seen what an English mind environment is and why it's so powerful. Let's talk about how to actually build it, starting from your own thoughts. This is where the real shift begins. Instead of thinking in your native language, you slowly begin switching your inner voice to English. Sounds simple, right? But it changes everything. Every time you talk to yourself, whether you're thinking about what to cook, what to wear, or just reminding yourself of something, try doing it in English. For example, instead of thinking, "Mujhe kapde dhone hain," say to yourself, "I have to do the laundry." That's your first step. Start by replacing one small thought at a time. Don't worry about being perfect, just be consistent.
Yes, and the beauty of this is you don't need a classroom or a teacher or even a partner. Your mind becomes your practice space. This is called using an internal monologue. It's the voice you hear in your head all day long, the one that says, "I'm tired," or "Where did I put my phone?" You already talk to yourself. Now, the goal is to simply change the language of that voice. Instead of "मैं थक गई हूँ," think "I'm tired." The words may be basic, but the habit is powerful. The more you do it, the faster your mind adapts. And don't worry if it feels slow at first. That's normal. But every time you switch that inner thought to English, you're rewiring your brain.
Let's take a real moment from your day. You wake up. What's the first thing that goes through your head? Maybe it's, I don't want to get up, or I'm late. Try saying it in English, even if you're just whispering it to yourself. Then when you're brushing your teeth, think, I'm brushing my teeth, instead of your native language version. You're not trying to create deep or poetic thoughts, just honest, regular thoughts. Where's my charger? I need to reply to that message. All of these are perfect chances to train that inner voice. You'll be shocked at how quickly your brain starts reaching for English instead of translating.
And one great trick is to actually talk to yourself out loud when you're alone. I know it sounds funny, but it works. If you're cooking, say, I'm chopping onions, or I need more salt. If you're getting ready, say, where are my shoes? It's like shadow practice, but with your own daily routine. You're training your mind and your mouth at the same time. And again, you're not trying to sound fancy, just natural. Even if you make mistakes, it doesn't matter. No one's listening. It's just you building that automatic English channel in your head. And it's one of the fastest ways to gain fluency.
Some learners ask, but what if I don't know how to say something in English? Great question. In that case, you simplify. Don't freeze. Don't stop thinking. Just use the words you do know. For example, if you don't know how to say, I have to iron my shirt, maybe you say, I need to fix my clothes, or make shirt good. It may not be perfect, but it keeps your English voice active. Later, you can check the correct phrase, but in the moment, the goal is not perfection. It's continuity. Keep your mind talking in English no matter what. That's what builds fluency.
That's right. And eventually, this becomes a habit. You won't even realize you're thinking in English. It'll just happen. And that's the goal. You're not waiting for a speaking partner. You're not waiting for the right time. You're using your thoughts, which are always with you, to build your environment. This is how you train your mind to be fluent, not just your mouth. You start from the inside. And the more often you switch those daily thoughts, the more your confidence grows on the outside. But there's one more thing we haven't talked about yet, and that's the role of your ears in this whole process.
Now that you've started building that English voice in your mind, the next major step is controlling what you feed your brain. Think about this. Your brain is like a sponge. Whatever it absorbs all day becomes your mental language. If most of your YouTube videos, songs, and scrolling content are in your native language, then your brain stays in native language mode. That's why we suggest replacing at least 80% of your daily media with English. This isn't about forcing yourself into boring lessons. Just choose English content that entertains you, informs you, or relaxes you. Make English your normal.
And let's make it very practical. If you watch 10 videos a day, try to make 8 of them in English. If you listen to music or podcasts, try switching to English ones most of the time. Don't wait for the right moment. Your brain is always learning. Even when you're relaxing, start small. Maybe you replace your comedy videos with funny English ones, or your bedtime stories with easy English audiobooks. It doesn't have to be academic. The key is regular exposure. Your ears should hear English every day, not just during study time. That's how real change begins.
And remember, you don't need perfect content. You need level-appropriate content. If you're a beginner, start with English learning videos or simple children's content. If you're intermediate, maybe try podcasts that use slower speech. What matters is this. If you can follow the general idea without subtitles, that's a good match for your level. You should feel challenged but not confused. If it's too difficult, your brain will switch off. If it's too easy, it won't grow. Find that middle ground where you're learning naturally, comfortably, and daily.
This also applies to reading. Most learners ignore it, but reading builds vocabulary faster than listening. And it's everywhere. Headlines, Instagram captions, short blog posts. You don't need to buy a novel. Start with English posts from pages you already follow. Turn on subtitles when you watch videos and read them as you listen. This double input sound, and text is powerful. It helps you recognize sentence patterns, pronunciation, and spelling all at once. The more you see and hear English together, the faster your brain connects meaning with words.
Here's another simple tip. Change the language of your phone, your apps, even your GPS. These are small changes, but they train your brain to function in English throughout the day. Every time you check the weather or open your settings, you're reinforcing basic vocabulary without doing anything extra. These micro moments of exposure build fluency quietly, like background learning. You're no longer studying English, you're just living in it. And the more you do this, the more it becomes automatic, like brushing your teeth without thinking.
Also, if you use YouTube or Instagram, create a new account just for English learning. This way, the algorithm starts recommending content in English based on your activity. Watch one English video, and soon you'll see 10 more like it. You can fill your entire feed with educational content, casual chats, or pronunciation tips, whatever supports your learning. This is digital immersion. It puts English in front of you all day long without extra effort. Your brain keeps absorbing. That's the magic of consistent, controlled input. It transforms how your mind reacts to the language.
Think about your daily routine. Morning tea? Play an English podcast. Doing dishes? Turn on an English video in the background. Waiting for a ride? Read an English article or listen to a short story. You're not adding more tasks. You're just replacing your current content with English. This keeps your ears tuned, your brain active, and your learning continuous. It doesn't feel like hard work because it blends into your lifestyle. And with time, you start understanding more without translation. That's when things really start to click.
One final thing. Don't be afraid to repeat content. If you find a podcast or video you like, listen to it again. Familiar content helps your brain catch what it missed the first time. Repetition creates clarity. At first, you may understand 50%. The second time, 70%. That gap fills naturally, and every repeat builds stronger connections in your mind. So choose your English input carefully, but don't worry about being perfect. Keep it regular, keep it understandable, and keep it going. This alone can move your fluency to the next level.
Let's talk about one of the most powerful methods to speed up your English fluency, the shadowing technique. It's simple, but super effective. Here's how it works. You listen to someone speaking in English, and you repeat their words at the same time or just 1 or 2 seconds after. It's not just repeating like a parrot. You're training your mouth, ears, and brain all at once. Shadowing forces you to focus, to catch the rhythm, and to produce the same sounds quickly. It makes your speaking active instead of passive, and that's a game changer for fluency.
The great thing about shadowing is that you don't need any fancy tools. Just pick an English audio clip, maybe a slow podcast or a YouTube video where someone speaks clearly, and start repeating exactly what they say the moment they say it. If it feels too fast in the beginning, pause after each sentence and repeat, or slow the video down. You're not trying to memorize the content. You're trying to match the speaker's flow, pronunciation, and natural rhythm. At first, it's hard, but with just 5 to 10 minutes a day, you'll see real improvement in clarity and confidence.
One tip that really helps: choose speakers who speak at your level. For example, English learning podcasts or storytelling videos are perfect. Don't start with fast native speakers or movie dialogues right away. That can be frustrating. Shadowing works best when your brain can process what you hear without feeling lost. And repeat the same clip multiple times. With each round, your tongue and ears will adjust. You'll sound smoother, more natural, and more automatic. This is real-time practice, almost like speaking with a partner, but without fear or pressure.
And don't worry about mistakes during shadowing. You're not being tested. This is a training session for your brain and mouth. Even if you miss a word or two, just keep going. The goal is fluency, not perfection. Keep your focus on matching the sound, tone, and sentence flow. Over time, this helps you think in English because you stop translating in your head. You start reacting directly in English. That's the biggest benefit of shadowing. It rewires your thinking and pushes you to speak more naturally, just like a native speaker would in conversation.
If you feel uncomfortable speaking out loud at first, try whispering. The goal is still to move your mouth and hear your own voice. You'll notice how your pronunciation slowly aligns with native patterns. Also, practice in front of a mirror if possible. It helps with confidence. And don't just shadow once a week. Make it part of your daily routine. Even 5 minutes every day is better than one long session once a week. Shadowing works through repetition. The more you do it, the more fluent, automatic, and confident your English becomes.
You can even turn your favorite content into shadowing practice. Take a small video or audio clip you like and use it again and again. Maybe it's a motivational speech or story you enjoy. Break it into short parts, replay each section, and shadow out loud. This turns something passive, like just watching, into something active. You speak, you listen, you match, and slowly it becomes a natural habit. When your brain and tongue start working together, speaking English becomes smoother, and you don't freeze during real conversations anymore.
And another benefit, shadowing improves your listening skills without extra effort. You become better at catching small sounds, sentence connections, and real pronunciation. Many learners complain that they understand written English but struggle with real speech. That's because they don't train their ears. Shadowing solves that. It trains you to hear like a speaker, not just like a student. You'll begin to hear sentence stress, rising and falling tones, and even emotions behind words, which all help you sound more natural when you speak.
And finally, don't compare your shadowing with someone else's progress. Everyone learns at their own pace. Focus on small wins. Maybe today you shadow 1 sentence, tomorrow 2, then 5. Keep building slowly. It's not about speed, it's about connection, connecting your ears, your brain, and your mouth in real time. This technique is like a secret shortcut. Simple, but powerful. And once you get comfortable with it, your confidence in speaking will grow automatically. No need to wait for perfect grammar or vocabulary.
Now, we've talked about feeding your brain English and using shadowing to train fluency. Let's talk about how to use your physical space to reprogram your English response system. One simple but powerful method is labeling things around you in English, mentally or physically. For example, if you're in your room, look at your table and say, table, not mez. Look at your door and say, door. Label your mirror, phone, pen, bag, everything. You can even put sticky notes if you want. This turns your environment into a classroom. Every object reminds your brain of its English name automatically.
Exactly. And the more you connect English to your daily surroundings, the faster your brain switches to using English as its default. Don't wait until you're in a lesson to think in English. Do it while brushing your hair, folding clothes, or using your computer. Say it silently or softly. Open drawer, close window, wear shoes. These small, short commands, set in real time, train your brain to respond in English, not translate. You're creating a habit where actions and English language are tied together. It makes English part of your reflexes.
This technique is perfect for people who feel shy about speaking. You don't need a partner. You don't need internet. You just need your daily routine and awareness. For example, when you make tea, say boil water, add milk, stir sugar. Use small, clear phrases, not long sentences. This keeps it natural. Over time, your brain starts hearing these phrases automatically in your head before you act. It's like voice-activated thinking. You begin to live in English without even realizing it. That's fluency, thinking, reacting, and doing in English.
Also, combine this with body movement. When you say open the door, actually open the door. When you say wash hands, do the action. Your brain connects faster when language and action happen together. This is how kids learn their first language. They see, hear, and do all at once. That's the same principle you're using here. Keep your phrases simple and repetitive. Don't say, I will now proceed to open the wooden door. Just say, open the door. Clear, short, and consistent. That's how you rewire your mind for English.
Another powerful way to apply this is by using digital reminders in English. Set your phone alarm label to wake up now, or your to-do list to buy milk, clean desk, call mom. Every time you read a task or alert, it reinforces real-world vocabulary. Your phone becomes an English coach. Same with your shopping list, right? Toothpaste, rice, soap. These small steps might seem basic, but they shift your thinking from native language to English. And that's the goal. Your environment starts speaking English back to you.
And you don't have to label everything at once. Start with 5 to 10 things in your room. Say them out loud a few times every day. After a week, add 5 more. These physical cues slowly build a strong English foundation in your subconscious. Also, try saying your full daily routine in short English phrases. Wake up, go to bathroom, brush teeth, wear shirt. Keep it simple. No pressure to sound perfect. These are just your own private English signals. Nobody's judging, but every phrase adds to your fluency bank.
If you live with family, you can even whisper English labels while doing your tasks, like switch on the light or cut vegetables. If you're walking alone, say to yourself, cross the road, walk fast, slow down. This is real-life immersion without leaving your home. The point is, the more you train your brain to link English to your actions, the less time it takes to speak or think in English. It removes hesitation. You stop searching for words. You start reacting naturally. That's the power of internal triggers.
You're basically creating an English bubble around your daily life. It doesn't cost anything. No special apps, no extra hours. Just a habit to think and label in English. Your room becomes your classroom. Your routine becomes your training ground. Keep the labels easy. Keep the commands short. Repeat them again and again. And very soon, your brain will respond to life in English first, without needing to translate every word. That's when you know your English mind is starting to form.
Now we've talked about using English triggers and labels around you, let's move to a smart technique that lets you practice English anytime, anywhere, even when you're alone. It's called inner dialogue. That means having imaginary conversations in your mind in English. You can imagine you're talking to someone at a shop, on a phone call, or even with a friend. You speak both parts in your mind. You ask a question, then imagine the reply. Like, hi, how can I help you? Then, yes, I need a bottle of water, please. These mental conversations are powerful for fluency.
This method works because it removes fear. You're not worried about grammar, mistakes, or embarrassment because you're the only one listening. You can take your time, repeat phrases, or try different versions. Think about a normal situation, like ordering food. Say in your head, "Can I get a chicken sandwich, please?" Then imagine the response. "Sure, would you like a drink with that?" You answer, "Yes, a cola." This kind of daily conversation practice sharpens your reflexes. You start learning how to respond faster and more naturally in real situations.
A great way to make this a habit is to choose a few common situations and practice them daily. Think about asking for directions, shopping, meeting someone, or visiting the doctor. Each day, pick one and create a simple 3-4-line dialogue in your mind. Speak silently or whisper if possible. Use natural English phrases like, "Where is the nearest bus stop?" or "I'm just looking, thank you." These aren't grammar drills, they're real-world sentences. The more you practice like this, the more confident and ready you'll be during real conversations.
You can also practice English inner dialogues while doing boring tasks, like walking, washing dishes, or waiting for the bus. Instead of scrolling your phone or thinking in your native language, use that time to run short English scenes in your mind. Imagine you're in a clothing store. Do you have this in medium? Yes, right here. Can I try it on? It feels small, but it's English speaking practice without a partner, and it works. You're building mental muscle for conversation, just like physical muscle at the gym.
One helpful trick is to actually whisper the dialogues when you're alone. Speaking them softly, even just the key lines, helps you hear your own pronunciation. Your brain also remembers better when you use voice and movement. Combine gestures too. Pretend to hand over money or point while asking something. These small physical actions make your practice more real. And remember, you don't need perfect grammar here. You're just building fluency. Speak more, think faster, and translate less. That's the goal.
This is one of the most practical English-speaking tips for people who live in non-English environments. No classes, no speaking partner, just your mind. But it trains your tongue, brain, and confidence together. When you imagine a scene, like going to the doctor, use real phrases. I have a headache. It started yesterday. Do I need medicine? Keep it short, clear, and real. These inner dialogues become your mental speaking exercises, and they prepare you better than just reading or writing.
If you're not sure what to say, pick one daily activity and describe it to yourself. For example, I am putting my phone on the table. Now I'm going to the kitchen. Let me check the fridge. This is a form of self-talk, but in English. Over time, your brain gets used to producing English automatically. You're reducing the habit of translating in your head. That's what helps you learn English fast, not by memorizing long lists, but by using the language in real thinking and everyday routines.
So even if you're alone and have no speaking partner, your best practice tool is already with you, your imagination. Inner dialogues build the habit of speaking, reacting, and responding in English, all inside your mind. Start simple, build slowly, and make it a daily practice. With time, your mind will stop needing to switch languages. Your responses will start flowing in English automatically. That's real fluency. Not perfect grammar, but natural, confident, everyday speaking ability.
Finally, let's talk about something that most learners ignore, but it has a huge impact on fluency. That's your reaction language. Think about this. When something surprises you or annoys you, what's the first word you say? If you're still saying yar or arewa or uff, then your brain is still reacting in your native language. But real fluency means reacting in English first, even in emotional moments. Say things like, really? Or no way? Or that's crazy. These reactions are small, but they rewire your brain's default setting to English.
Exactly. And this kind of English is not in textbooks. It's what we call emotional fluency. The ability to express real reactions and feelings in English, not just information. For example, instead of saying wah when you're impressed, say wow. Or instead of kya baat hai, say that's amazing. When you're confused, say what's going on. These reactions make your English sound real, like native speakers. The goal is not just to speak correctly, it's to respond naturally, just like you do in your first language.
You can start training this right now. Begin by listing 10, 15 common reactions for surprise, anger, happiness, or even disappointment. Then start using them in your daily life. When you drop something, say, oops. When someone tells you something shocking, say, are you serious? This is daily conversation practice for your emotions. You don't need a partner. Just replace the native language response with a quick English phrase. That's how your brain learns to react in English before translating.
And it's okay to feel awkward in the beginning. Your brain will take time to switch the default, but keep doing it every time. Watch English videos and observe how native speakers react. Listen for phrases like, oh my God, seriously? That's insane, or you've got to be kidding. Practice these aloud when you're alone. Say them with real feeling. Don't just say it like a robot. Use tone and energy. This trains your brain to connect English with real-life emotions, not just grammar rules.
One more tip.
Use mirror practice. Look in the mirror and react to imaginary situations. Pretend someone just told you exciting news. Say, "No way!" Pretend you're annoyed. Say, "Come on." These short emotional responses are like glue. They stick English into your real personality. And this builds speaking confidence fast. You stop thinking and you start reacting. It feels natural, like you're actually living in English, not just learning it from the outside.
Also, try responding to English content in English. When you hear a funny line in a podcast, laugh and say, "That's hilarious." When a YouTuber shares a good idea, say, "That makes sense." These reactions are tiny habits, but they push your fluency forward in a big way. You're not just understanding English anymore, you're emotionally involved in it. And that's the final step towards sounding real, not just correct.
So, to wrap up today's episode, remember, building an English environment in your mind is not about living abroad or taking expensive classes. It's about shifting your thoughts, actions, and reactions into English one step at a time. Think in English, label in English, talk to yourself, react in English. These small moves done daily create powerful fluency over time.
Thanks so much for staying with us. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to practice one segment today. Don't just listen, take action. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and check out more episodes on the Speak Up channel. We're here every week with new ways to help you learn English fast, speak naturally, and build real confidence. See you next time.